What's going on, guys? It's Mr. Creatine. Happy Easter. Happy 420. Happy, all of whatever holidays are today. And for today's story time, I figured I'd give you guys a bit of a Easter and, 420 mix combined special type video. But yeah, let's get into it. So, to give a little background information that'll be necessary for later in the story time, this was back during my 10th grade year when I was 16, and I think it was like 2 weeks before Easter had actually happened. And my one friend, who we'll just call Kyler, had hit me up and he said, "Yo, I'm having a Easter party." I think it was like a few days before Easter. I don't know. It was just over our break at some point. And he's like, "You're invited. Like, invite a bunch of people. Like, I want to get everybody possible." At this party, which was a very possible thing for him to accomplish because where he lived at the time, he lived out with his grandma, like in the woods with lots of land, and his grandma just did not give a fuck what he did. So it was a pretty good party spot, and I was like, all right, bet I'll let people know, and that's kind of just what I did. I would just kind of hit people up asking if they wanted to go to this party, and then eventually we get to the week that break started, and I was kind of just sitting in culinary. It was early in the morning. I was fucking tired, and I was kind of just looking around the room like, huh, who here could I invite to this party? Because I had already invited a few people. I think I invited these two dudes who we'll just call Alex and George. I had invited my one friend, who we will just call Mitch from the Ouija board story. And then I look over at my one friend, and we'll just call her Ashley. And I was thinking Ashley maybe would want to go to the party because she was a senior, and the party was mainly going to be juniors and seniors. I was just kind of like the rare exception because I had known Kyler, and she also liked to party a bit on her own. So I was thinking maybe she'll like to go. And so I went over. I shot her an invite. I was like, Ashley, do you want to go to an Easter party over Easter break? And she said, maybe, when is it? And I just told her the day of it. She's like, I'll have to let you know, probably though, I'm not really doing anything over Easter break. And I was like, okay, bet, you can bring people if you want. I was just told to invite anybody and everybody. And she was like, okay, bet. And now we can sort of just fast forward to the day that the party happens. This whole day I really didn't do anything besides confirm plans. Because of the fact that I couldn't drive, I had gotten a hold of my one friend, who we'll just call Marcus, and I had asked Marcus, hey, you're going up to the party tonight, right? And he's like, yeah. I was like, can you come, scoop me on the way there? He's like, yeah, I got you, don't worry. I was like, okay, bet, thank you. Then I started texting Ashley, and she told me she was the only one who was going to be coming to the party, but she didn't have a ride, and I was like, I can ask my one friend who's giving me a ride up if we can come scoop you on the way up. And she's like, okay, that would be much appreciated, thank you. And so I go back to talk to Marcus some more. I'm like, hey, can we go scoop my one friend Ashley? And he's like, yeah, I don't really care. I'll let you know when I'm coming to get you, and we'll just go get her after. And I'm like, okay, bet. I'll go let her know. And he's like, okay. And then I go back to texting Ashley. I'm like, yeah, me and my one friend Marcus will come grab you before we go up to the party. She's like, okay, tell Marcus I said thank you and thank you. And I was like, okay, bet. I'll let you know when we're on the way up. We'll just need the address, though. And she just sent me her address, saved it in chat. And I kind of just go about my day for the next couple hours after this, up until Marcus texts me, tells me he's on the way. So at this point, I start finishing getting ready. I text Ashley. I tell her we'll be over to get her here shortly. And then Marcus ends up getting to my house. And I just go out to Marcus's car, hop in the passenger seat. I plug Ashley's address into the GPS, and then I text her to let her know that we're on the way, so she's not just blindsided by our arrival. And we kind of just start our drive from there. And once we get about 5 to 10 minutes, I would say, away from arriving to Ashley's house, we're just following the GPS, just doing what it's telling us to do. We take a turn, and as we keep going through this turn and driving down the road, we come to realize that we're driving outside of a fucking prison. And I wasn't too sure as to why the GPS was taking us down this way, but I text Ashley and I was like, is there a prison on the road on the way to your house? And she's like, no, what the fuck are you talking about? And I'm like, the GPS has us taken to a prison. And at this point she fucking calls me and she's like, yeah, no, you might want to just turn around right there. And Marcus proceeds to put the car in fucking reverse, just whip it the fuck around, and we start getting the hell out of there. And we probably look so fucking suspicious to anybody working this prison who like just looks outside and all they see is a fucking car just whipping it around outside fast as hell. And we start like going back down to the road where we turned in to go to the prison at, and Ashley starting to like just try and give us directions from here. And thankfully Ashley can give us good enough directions to where we don't end up at another prison, and eventually we just pull into her driveway, and I just let her know that we're here because I was still on the phone with her, and she just came out, got in the car because she had all her stuff ready at this point already, and we just departed from Ashley's house to go over to Kyler's for the party. And eventually, after the car ride, we do pull up to Kyler's house and we go to park out where we would normally go and park at. And I'm not gonna lie, there was already like some cars here, which told me that there was gonna be at least a smaller group of people here already, which was good because it was only like 8 o'clock at this point in time. Like I felt that we were there early, and we got out of the car, the three of us. We all went out, started talking to people, and I'm not gonna lie to you, some of them were like comedically drunk at this point already. Like it was bad. Like there's this one dude who we'll just call Ben. Like there's a video of him in my phone from this night, and I don't even think you can tell what he's saying in the video. Like it was bad. And for the next couple hours, like up until more people started showing up, we all kind of just drank, like talked to each other, walked around the property, and just acted like dumbasses. And eventually my one friend, who we'll just call Gavin, shows up, and I'm not gonna lie, at this point in time, Gavin was a bit of a pothead, and when he got there, he got out of his car. He kind of just came and like joined the like group that was forming, and he starts talking to us a little bit, and he's like, "Guys, like I brought weed, like we should go hotbox somebody's vehicle." And the little group of people I was in, it was like me, that very drunk dude Ben, Gavin, Kyler, Ashley, and Marcus. And as soon as Gavin says this, like all of us just go and fucking disperse into Marcus's car. And Marcus's car isn't even meant to fit this many people, by the way. Like Marcus and Gavin both went up front, and then Ben and Kyler sat next to each other on the one side in the back, and then me and Ashley sat next to each other on the other side in the back. And now we're all just like kind of sitting here crammed into this car, and Gavin just pulls out a bag of weed and some rolling papers, and he starts rolling up in the passenger seat. And as he's doing this, I'm like starting to realize that Ashley's like leaning like on me a little bit more as time goes by, and I'm not questioning it that much because of the fact that, you know, there's four of us crammed into the back seat. And eventually Gavin gets the joint done, and we all start smoking, and eventually Ashley like just full on starts like cuddling up next to me, and I just am not giving a fuck about it at all. I'm just continuing smoking, just enjoying my time. And eventually I think it was either Marcus or Gavin starts like teasing me a little bit about the fact that I'm like cuddling with Ashley basically in the back seat. And Ashley starts getting involved now, like she's talking back to him. And now we're all kind of just like a group of cross-faded people in this car talking and basically like arguing like we're a bunch of middle schoolers. And eventually they all start saying like, you guys like wouldn't last 2 minutes in the trunk without like being all over each other, which I don't even know where the fuck this came from, because we're literally just like laying on each other at this point in the car. Like nothing un-PG was even happening up until this point. And Ashley, after hearing this, swings open the door and goes, "Okay, we're going and getting in the trunk then." And sure enough, I hop out of the car. We both walk over to the trunk. Marcus pops it open, and we both kind of just climb into the trunk, and we're both just laying there like talking to each other for a good like 30 seconds to a minute, I think. And keep in mind, both of us were literally like just friends up to this point. Like there was no flirtatious comments or anything going on during culinary. Like we were literally just friends, and while we're sitting here talking, we both kind of just like say fuck it and start making out right there in Marcus's trunk. And eventually Marcus comes and fucking pops the trunk back open, and we both just look up at him like guilty as fuck, and he just has no words, and he's like, "Just get the fuck out of my trunk." And we both hopped up out of the trunk, and we all just go back to like, you know, partying, having a good time. And me and Ashley are like just sitting down on like the swings of a playground set that Kyler's grandma had bought in for his younger siblings. And Ben, like the really drunk dude, started walking over to us, and I'm looking at him, and he's like hauling a wheelbarrow and holding a beer in one of his hands, and the wheelbarrow is just filled with chopped up wood. So I'm starting to get like a little interested as to what this dude's doing, and he gets over to us, and he's just like, "Mr. Creatine, I have a present for you." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, what is it?" And he's like, "I got you a bunch of wood." And at this point, I'm cross, so I start fucking with him a little bit, and I'm like, "What if I don't want the wood? What if I want the wheelbarrow?" And he's like, "You can't have the wheelbarrow, it's mine." And I was like, "No, I want the wheelbarrow." And he's like, "You can't have the fucking wheelbarrow." And me and this dude Ben just start like drunkenly wrestling over like this wheelbarrow. And it's not like we were trying to hurt each other or anything. Like we weren't like physically harming each other. Like we were dead ass just like wrestling down in the dirt over this fucking wheelbarrow. And Ashley's probably just sitting over on the swing watching us like, what the fuck is even happening? And eventually we both just stop, get up, and we just kind of call a truce from there. And he just walks away like nothing even happened. And I'm just sitting here like, what the fuck is even going on tonight? And like from here, me and Ashley kind of just like go back to joining the main group. And the main group is all like in this small little like car garage that I'm gonna assume they were Kyler's vehicles, but he had like two what looked like beater cars parked in there, and they were all just like surrounding the cars talking about him. We kind of just joined into the group, and we all are sitting there talking for like a good 25, probably 30 minutes, and all we hear is guess who? Fucking Ben's drunk ass screaming just out in the yard somewhere, and he eventually gets over to us, and he's like, "Where's my fucking vape? Like I can't fucking find it." And we're all like, "I don't know, dude, like none of us have it. I don't even vape, so I didn't fucking have it." And he continues just to like walk around and search, and eventually Ben does come back, but he still hasn't found his vape yet, so he's just like screaming still in a drunken rage. And dude just like picks up this big ass wrench that was just sitting on the like floor of this garage, and he picks this thing up, lifts it over his head, and just swings it into the fucking windshield of one of the beater cars. It was I think Kyler's fucking busted Mustang. And I'm just sitting here in the most like shock possible, like bro really just threw a wrench through a windshield over his vape being missing. And when I tell you, after he did this, it got so fucking quiet. Like, it got so quiet. And Kyler was in there and saw this happen, and bro didn't even care that Ben just did this. Like, all that really came from this was just a bunch of us kind of just, like, walked out of the garage and went to different areas of the property. Like, me and Ashley, like, just walked out of the garage and started walking over to, like, where all the cars were at, like, by another just bigger garage. And we're walking over there, and we kind of just start like talking about what happened in Marcus's trunk earlier. And it wasn't an awkward conversation by any means. Like we were kind of just joking and like poking fun at it. And then I crack a joke and I say we could easily slip off to one of these cars and just do it again. And she kind of just says fuck it, and we go and we slip off into my friend Gavin's car, you know, the dude who brought the weed. And she just hops up on my lap and starts making out with me in the back seat of Gavin's car. And I would say like 5 minutes went by of us doing this before we decided it would probably be best to get out of Gavin's car before he caught us in there, or before things maybe went further and went down a worse route. But after me and Ashley get out of the car, we kind of just start walking around for a little bit more, and that's when Marcus walks up to us and is like, "Hey, do you guys want to go with me to go get Joe, because I'm gonna go pick him up to bring him to the party?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm down to. Ashley, do you want to?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm down to." And so the three of us just start walking over to Marcus's car, and that's when Kyler runs up to us. He's like, "Where are you guys going to?" And we're like, "We're all going to grab Joe real quick to bring him up here." And he's like, "Well, can I go?" And Marcus is like, "Well, yeah, I don't really care." And so the four of us all go to jump into Marcus's car. Kyler hops up in the passenger seat. Marcus is driving, and me and Ashley are sitting in the back. And we all just kind of depart from the location and start going to pick Joe up. And while we're on the car ride to go pick Joe up, I finally check my phone, because I don't normally check it when I'm like going out to events like such as this. And my two friends from earlier in the story that I had mentioned, Alex and George, had been trying to get a hold of me all night, but because of the mix of what I just said and then the fact that I was crossed, I hadn't seen any of the messages like all night. And So I go to respond to them, but the bad thing about like where Kyler lives out at is you don't like have service at all, even if you have data, unless you're like in his fucking house. And so when I go to like respond to these dudes, my messages just aren't fucking going through. So I go to like look at the snap map cuz the one dude I was texting, Alex, shares his location with me, and it said that he was like around where the house was. So I was just like, okay, maybe like him and George made it then. I don't know. I'll have to wait till we get into better service. And eventually we do get into better service. We get to Joe's house, we pick him up, and me and Kyler's fat asses wanted McDonald's, so we went and stopped through the drive-thru of there. And do you want to know what the fuck happened while we were in the drive-thru? Alex called me, and he basically gave me the rundown of they had driven all the way up to fucking Kyler's house, but couldn't find like which house was his, so they came back. And they were also conveniently at the McDonald's because of the fact that my snap map was on and they could see my location and had shown up there to come talk to me. So after we're done getting our food from the drive-thru, we kind of just pull up to an open spot so Alex and George can come talk to us. And when they get over to my door, I kind of just roll down the window and start talking to them. And they kind of just gave me the rundown of what happened. And they start asking us about like where the house is exactly. And when we explain it to them, they kind of just decide that it's not worth the gas to go all the way back up there, which I completely understand. And I felt super bad that I hadn't been checking my phone at all to respond to their messages because I always like hanging out with Alex and George. It's always a pretty good time. But yeah, after we're done talking to them, we kind of just drive off after this back up to Kyler's house to go rejoin the party. And eventually we get back up to Kyler's house, and more people had shown up at this point. Like Seamus had gotten there, and everyone had been questioning like where Kyler had went because he kind of just disappeared from his own party. And so we all just like start talking to him, say we went to go get Joe, and we all start trying to like start a little bonfire at this point, all throwing wood into a little pile. And we're not doing a very good job at it, keep in mind you. We're all like either drunk, crossed, or high, so us starting a fire is probably not the greatest decision, but we do somehow manage to get this fire fucking started. I'm pretty sure it was through gasoline, but we're all standing around this fire for like 20, 30-ish minutes, and eventually Ben and Kyler both fucking run up to me, and they both just grab a hold of my shirt, start manhandling the shit out of me, and just tear it the fuck off of my body. And I go, dude, like, what the fuck? Why'd you guys just tear my shirt off? And they both proceed to start giggling their asses off and just throw that shit into the fire, which I don't, like, particularly care about because it wasn't, like, a nice shirt or anything, and I don't particularly care if people see me shirtless. It's just the fact of why would you just come tear my shirt off of my body? But yeah, we just continue to keep enjoying our little fire from there, and eventually I'm starting to get like a little burnout. Like it's becoming like 2 or 3 in the morning ish at this point, I think. And I just walk up to Kyler, I start talking to him. I'm like, man, where can I sleep at tonight? And he's like, I don't particularly care where you sleep at. Like, my bed's available because I'm going to be out here for a long ass time. So if you just want to sleep in that, you're good too. My little brother's bed's available. Like, there's pretty much everywhere available in the house. Just if you go to fuck anywhere, don't do it in my grandma's bed. And I was like, okay, I didn't plan on going and having sex in your grandma's bed, but thanks for letting me know like where I can go sleep at, man. He's like, no problem, dude. And I start walking back over to where Kyler's like house is at because we are still out by like the garages and shit. And Ashley comes and like starts walking up next to me, and she's like, hey, like, do you care if I like just come sleep and like cuddle with you tonight? And I was like, I don't give a shit. And we both kind of just walk up to the house, are talking to each other, and we're just looking for places to sleep in the house at this point. We both go up to like the upstairs area where Kyler's room is, where his little brother's room is, and we go to his little brother's room first. And when I tell you it was a fucking mess in there, it was a fucking mess in there. Like, I'm pretty sure from what Kyler said to me was that his brother like lived there for a period of time and then just stopped but didn't clean his room before he moved out, so it's just always been a mess. And we both kind of just like sitting there, we're talking to each other, and things start getting like a little freaky. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, we're sitting in this bed and we start making out with each other, like doing the shit we were doing in the trunk and like just out in the cars. And eventually it gets to the point where Ashley kind of just starts like sucking my dick. And after like 10 or so minutes of her just giving me head, she kind of just goes, "Do you just want to have sex?" And I was like, "Honestly, just fuck it. Sure." And she's like, "Okay, just don't be going and telling people from in culinary," which was a very understandable statement. And we both just start having sex right there in my friend's younger sibling's bed. Probably the most like horrendous shit I've ever done. Like this is worse than the movie theater in my opinion, but yeah, we're just there having sex. We get done after a little while and we both like are just laying there trying to go to sleep at this point. And this bed was so fucking uncomfortable. It wasn't while we were like having sex or anything like that, but it was uncomfortable as shit to sleep on. And eventually we just wander out of Kyler's little brother's room and we just hop up into Kyler's bed to go to sleep in. And this is around when like more people started coming into the house to like go to sleep. Like Gavin and Seamus walked upstairs, and the way that the upstairs like works is you walk up there and Kyler's room is right there. So they both came up and they both like just started talking to us a little bit once they realized we weren't asleep yet. And we're talking, like I asked them how the rest of the party was going outside. They said it was all still like going like pretty well out there. Like there was still people partying out there. They just were done partying for the night. And as we're sitting there like just talking to each other, I'm thinking like, should I warn them that I just like had sex with Ashley in the bed that one of them's probably about to sleep in? And I'm thinking like, yeah, it might be a good idea. So I straight up just say, I'm like, listen, we kind of just had sex in there in that bed. Like whichever one of you sleeps in that bed, I'm sorry. And they both just straight up said like they didn't really care. They don't even know if they're gonna sleep in there. They're just gonna go talk in there while we go to sleep since we were about to go sleep in that room. And yeah, me and Ashley kind of just fall asleep from there after Seamus and Gavin go into the other room, and that's like not where this story ends either. I think I woke up like at least like an hour or two later, and one of Kyler's dogs, I don't know like where they were at the entire party because the dogs weren't there the entire party, but one of Kyler's dogs had gotten upstairs into his room and just started like assaulting me while I was asleep. And I had woken up, I got the fucking dog off of me, and in the commotion, Ashley had woken back up, and we start talking, and she says the words round two, and we end up just having sex again. And something I actually did not know about that I found very embarrassing when I found out like a month or two ago when Seamus told me was Seamus was actually asleep, like on the floor in the room majority of the night after we fell asleep. But when I had gotten up to get the dog up, he had also woken up, so he essentially just heard me and Ashley having sex for however long of a period we were. And from what he said, he just kind of tried to zone out while the entire experience was happening, which I don't blame him for, and I feel extremely bad about the fact I was having sex with him in the room like today. But yeah. And that's pretty much where today's story time ends. It's a bit of an interesting one, I'm not gonna lie. Afterwards, me and Ashley kind of just agreed like to never speak of what happened again, which we did, and that's a story time for another day. But if you guys enjoyed today's story time, just drop a like, comment, subscribe. It would really be awesome. And this is also my longest story time by far, I would say. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.